Welcome to the Bottom Music Podcast. Today we have Saarang from Temple of Dome.
Alongside special co-host Dave Tirio.
Yay! Everyone's headphones good?
Yeah, sure. I hear you.
Okay.
I hear
Well, welcome, Saarang from Temple of the Dome.
you. Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
I am spectacular and very happy to be here.
Yeah, we're very happy to have you.
And also our very special co-host,
Co-host.
Dave Tirio. Introduce yourself.
Yo.
There you go. We're calling this one the Double Doinker.
Double doinker is appropriate on this week
Yeah.
in particular, as we see another Bears low.
I just learned that phrase the other night from Jen. She was like, oh yeah, it's a long story.
I do not know what this doinking is.
Oh, dude. 2018 against the Eagles. The field goal hit 2 uprights and then went out and broke everyone's heart.
Yeah,
Somehow
and I'm pretty sure that kicker broke every record of how many times you can hit the post.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously,
He was a doinker.
it really bothered me
Double
when I
doinker.
found out like a year later that he would practice hitting the post when he was in college. Like, really, dude? You should have kept that to yourself, man.
Incredible.
So I think we want to start from now.
Okay.
Instead of normally, we start, hey, tell us what happened, blah, blah. Let's start from the beginning now.
The beginning
And
of...
then we'll go backwards. What have you been up to?
Well, making music, man. I've been writing. I am a better songwriter now than I've ever been, and it's like every angle of it I've been working on hard, and it came from just making my own music without caring who heard it. I just decided at a point I'm gonna go insane if I don't make music, so I just did it. And where I am now, after doing that solo stuff for a while, I got back together with Jiggles, the bass player from Swizzle Tree, and I'm like, listen, man, I just want to write with people again. He's like, okay, cool, let's do it. He's not with us anymore, but he did the first record with us, and it just once I started writing with somebody else after like 9 years of doing it by myself, I suddenly realized I'm like, oh my god, I can do this stuff now. I don't see. I think the biggest thing I've come across is I don't believe in writer's block anymore.
Nice.
There's no such thing. I don't believe it. It's just everybody thinking they're not good enough. You wrote a song. It's probably good. Keep writing 5 more and you'll probably write a great one.
Right.
And I've realized that, and it's, I've just embraced it. I've realized there's no bad ideas. Everything I write now, whenever somebody gives me an idea, I don't question it. I just put it in there and it works. Like there's a song that's going to be coming out, the last one I'm putting out in this. So right now we're doing an album. It's going to be like 13 songs all about weed. It's a concept album.
I love that.
And, I just wanted to do something nobody's ever done before. I wrote one song about it, and I tell Jiggles, I'm like, I bet I could do a whole album like this. He's like, oh, really? I'm like, well, is that a challenge? All right, let's do it. So I did it. So now we're in the middle of releasing that. And like, so one song, so I wanted to do a song with my brother. Since the end of Swizzle Tree, everything I've done, I have had him on at least one song.
And your brother
Is Stubby from Lucky Boys Confusion.
Okay.
So I asked him, I'm like, okay, so, I'm doing a weed album. What do you want to write about? He's like, I don't know. I don't really care about it anymore. It just helps me sleep. So now my chorus is, it helps me sleep.
Yep.
It helps me sleep. It's all that.
Yeah.
Then the second thing, he's like, in the verses, maybe skip the first note. I'm like, okay, so the only thing that hits the first note is the bass and the drums. And now every other instrument hits on the second note. It's like what I realize is any idea somebody gives me, I can make it work.
Yeah, it's fucking magic.
Yeah, and it's like now there's like no ego about it. There's no, I don't know, man. I don't know if I like your idea. No, dude, give me an idea, and even if I don't like it, I'm gonna. Great example. From our first EP we put out like a few years ago, there's a song on there called "I Got You." It's about this hot wife of mine, and so I wrote this thing that was kind of like rockabilly, kind of, and I had a verse, a pre-chorus, and a chorus. And I go to Jiggles. I'm like, okay, write something. He's like, okay, what? I'm like, anything that I wouldn't have written. So he comes back with this like thing that's in a minor key and just really weird and like just completely different. And my first thought was, I can't do this. Then I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. I did it, and it became like one of our best songs ever. Like it's just forcing yourself to do something you wouldn't do.
Right.
And I suddenly can write something beyond what I could come up with on my own,
Absolutely.
Even just the minor suggestions from my guitar player, and it changes the song I'm working on. I love it, It's nice. I feel like I want to expand this, and I want to write with as many people as I can, because I feel like I can now help people improve their songs without pushing my ideas onto it, which is something that's hard to do as a writer. Everybody's got an ego.
Yeah.
I've been able to like get past that, which is hard.
Try being in one life.
Oh, too many egos in one band, man. That's what people. That's like with me and my brother. People are like, how come you guys don't do a band together? I'm like, no, too much ego in one band. There's just no way. Yeah, but I like doing occasional collaborations, but I can't imagine being in a band with my brother. As I say this to you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, it's a special. When we were younger, I think it was much harder to be in a band together. Now I just, we're like you said, it's just kind of like you don't really give a shit anymore because we're just doing it for the music. You know what I mean? And you're doing what's best for the song, and you're having fun.
That one thing you said, everybody says that I don't care is important, but it really is. Mm-hmm. Once I stopped. Okay, so when I was, before Temple of Dome, I was doing The Power Cosmic. That was my solo project. But when I was doing that, I didn't care who heard it. I recorded it. I released it on iTunes and whatnot. And I don't know who heard it. I just didn't care. I just wanted to make music. If I didn't, I was depressed. Right. It was as simple as that. If I don't write songs, I get depressed. And towards the end of Swizzle Tree, and even many times in the middle, we were together for like 20 years. And then again in Liquid Hot Magma, my other band that I did after Swizzle Tree, we reached a point where we just weren't writing songs. It was driving me crazy. How do you go a year without writing a song? And it's just what happens in bands. It does. But after that, I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm just going to keep writing whatever. And I did whatever I felt like. First song was kind of like polka. The second song sounded a bit like a hippie thing. Then the next one was like metal. And then I started writing like some, Indian sounding stuff. I got my mom to sing on a track,
Awesome.
But like, the only reason I was able to do all that is because I just decided I don't care. I'm just going to make music because I need to,
Right, yeah.
And I needed to learn more. I think that's the biggest thing that happened to me. When I was in Swizzle Tree, people liked it. We were good. But none of that was me trying to be my best. That was me doing what came naturally. Like, music is natural to me. Yeah. And I thought, oh, yeah, I'm good enough. I'm just going to do this. And, like, it wasn't until I started doing the solo project stuff that I realized I'm like, there is so much I didn't know before. Like I just basic stuff about how music is put together, how theory works. And like one of my biggest epiphanies was learning how to blend Eastern melodies that people think are different scales into Western ideas. And like when I finally had the epiphany, I realized I'm like, there are no different scales. It's the same ones used in different ways, and I mean, I could really get into deep with that, but
dude, you and Tundo, chop it up, dude.
Well, I'll tell you right now. The big one for me was there was this melody I had. It went like, and that was the lead part I had, right? So I wrote the chords under it, and it sounded a little strange, but that's how things sounded when I wrote things that were Indian influenced. And my buddy Derek Hassan, Ramsey Hassan's younger brother, he's the guy that was in the band with Liquid Hot Magma with. He comes over and he listens to it. He's like, yeah, that's cool, but that one note's wrong. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, well, your chord is here and you're playing that one note, and when you hit that chord with that note, it doesn't fit. I'm like, ugh. Well, what am I supposed to do? And he told me what note I should play. So the next day, after I played that note and recorded it, I called him.
Which is super hard to do as a singer, by the way.
So I'm playing that note, and I called him. I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, you're right. That note worked. He's like, okay, so why are you upset? I'm like, I don't want to play that note. I want to play the other one that makes it sound like trippy and creepy. He's like, okay, so then figure out which notes don't fit and put a different chord there. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, any chord. Just figure out which notes don't fit, and for that moment, put in a chord. And it wasn't even a count of four. It was like in the third measure on the third beat, from the count of 3 and 4, and then 1 of the fourth beat, I have to go to a different chord. And it was just bizarre. And when I played the chords together, I'm like, this is weird. Then I put the melody over it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. Like, and I finally figured out what the hell Radiohead's been doing for years. I'm like, oh my God. So, what I realized is, there's versions of music where a really good lead guitarist can just wail over it, whatever you're playing, and just go with it, right? You can't do that with this type of music. You have to know that you're in A minor here, but then for 3 notes, you're going to be in F sharp or something. I don't even know if those are clashing notes or not. But my point is that you have to be able to go up and down through that. And that's what those Indian melodies are. They're not coming up with a new scale. They're just not using chords, so you don't realize that they're using a strange chord progression under it. They just ignore the chords and just give you the melody notes.
Right.
So, like once I realized that, I was able to start putting harmonies over my weird Indian sounding melodies and just everything just epiphanied. And at first I was doing very Indian Radiohead-ish type stuff, but eventually it got to a point of like Stone Temple Pilots. Have you guys ever tried to play Stone Temple Pilots songs on guitar?
That's tough.
Yeah, they are.
They're complex.
Yeah.
I used to think that, if you want to do, like fun sing-along stuff, you end up with stuff like Green Day. But then if you want to do weird, creepy stuff, you end up with stuff like Radiohead. And then I listened to some Beatles stuff. I'm like, wait, they're writing weird, creepy stuff that's fun to sing. What the hell? Mm-hmm. And then one day, this guy, Ethan Keller from Green Scene, he was over at my house and he starts playing STP songs to me. I'm like, what are you doing? What is this chromatic stuff? I'm like, that stuff is so easy to sing along to. I thought it was just straightforward theory, and it's not. And that's been my goal for a long time, is that I want to write stuff that's unexpected, strange, outside the theory, but unless you're a musician, you don't even know because it's fun to sing to. And that's what STP was to me, and I'm finally getting to that point. It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see that you still had the enthusiasm. When was that show that I saw you at Bottom Lounge?
2.5 years ago, I think?
2.5 years ago, and you were just as fucking enthusiastic with me that night, which led up to this, obviously, having you on the podcast, which took 2.5 fucking years. But here we are, in the parking lot of the old McGregor's over here in Villa Park. But that night, I mean, I fucking witnessed something I haven't seen out of you ever, and it was like I was like, holy fuck, what is going on? You were singing like a fucking angel, and you're like, yeah, by the way, I had fucking laryngitis tonight. And I was like, what?
I almost canceled that show, but then everybody's like, you sure? And I'm like, oh, fuck it, let's just do this. Let's do this. I got some throat coat tea and some honey and yada yada.
Dude, it was like something so like I walked in, I was like, no fucking way is that wrong. No fucking way. I mean, like you transformed yourself to a completely different fucking person, and I was like, what in the fuck is this all about?
I hate thinking that I wasn't that person like 15 years earlier when we were touring big time, and like I could have been that. But it was just the freedom of not caring and then just embracing what I can do. The weird stuff that I thought was, you know what it was? Okay, so my first band was Swizzle Tree, and we played together for a long time, went through many stages, and then finally when Amory Smizer joined and we got a really solid drummer, things really took off. We got a single in Omaha that wouldn't go away. We tried to release a second one. They just kept going back to the first. And
we don't know anything about that.
So I mean, it was cool, but that got us signed, and we did all this stuff. But so the guys in Swizzle Tree were similar to me in the sense that they just knew what to do, but they weren't. They didn't know anything about music theory. None of those guys did, and they had all been playing longer than me, so they were good at what they were doing. But they were just like me. They were just doing what came naturally on their instruments. So I didn't have like an Adam Cryer or Joe Sell in my band that was gonna teach me the stuff about music theory that I didn't know yet. That happened in Liquid Hot Magma when Derek Hassan joined it, and he's brilliant. He is so good, so talented with music. Makes me sad he's not making music anymore. But like, he could. I personally like the tone of my voice better, but he could sing better than me. He could play guitar, trumpet, drums, all this stuff so well, and he understood theory so well. So when that was finally my chance to like get stuff that I didn't know before. And once he opened the door to that one thing, I just started learning so much more on my own. It was just, I don't think there's a limit to how much more new stuff I can learn. There just isn't. And I thought before I knew everything, I was too arrogant, But now it's like,
I think Dave can attest to this. Like, he's making music on his own now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what's that like?
Well, yeah, it's similar. Like, being in a band, you don't have all of your ideas used, and obviously you got to just kind of be a part of the team, right?
Right.
And then when I got out of the band, I went to myself, what would it be like to make all the decisions? Can you even do it? You know what I mean? Like,
it
are you
really-
even capable
Yeah.
of writing a whole album's worth of material and making all those decisions on your own? And it was just a challenge. You know what I mean? That's all it was, really.
Fun
pushing
one too, I
yourself.
bet.
An assignment and a challenge to myself. And I did the same thing you're doing now with Temple of Dome too. I tried to make it like a concept album, and I wrote silly things, like things that weren't serious to me. It was I based every single song off a TV show I liked.
Oh,
So it's
awesome.
like one step away from Weird Al, honestly. You know
Yeah,
what
that's
I mean?
great.
Like I picked a certain episode or whatever, and I titled every song the exact title of the episode of the TV show and this and that, and I got to 10 songs. So it took a while. It took
That's
a long
awesome.
time, but it was it was rewarding for sure.
In Swizzle Tree, to kind of get back to Swizzle a little bit, who was the main writers in that?
Steve and I wrote most of the songs. It's hard to say. Okay, I mean, definitely it's me and Steve for sure. He was somebody who could play guitar and sing, so he did write more stuff in the beginning, and I would write to the stuff that he wrote. So we would write songs together. He would give me a spark of an idea for a vocal, and I would go finish it. But he already had the guitars written. It was a while before I started writing songs with instruments and doing things like that. And it was cool because I would come with basic chord ideas, and they would turn it into cool riffs. Yeah. So that started happening. But everybody had some part in writing a little bit. Like there are songs that I was a very good glue for that band when it
Nice.
came to songwriting. There are some songs that a thing that Tadish wrote, a thing that Steve wrote, and a thing that Jiggles wrote, and I brought all three together and I came to them. I'm like, how do we make this into one song? Like things with that, and I felt like there were moments where Tadish and Steve would click, and then there were times they wouldn't, and I would step in and be like, here, give me your idea, let's do this.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was a little bit of a middleman, and once I learned how to like play some instruments better, I got to a point where I could write my own full songs, like we were talking about. Okay, so towards the end of Swizzle Tree, before we were done, I got a BR 9000 CD. It was a 8-track digital thing that had a drum machine built in, and it was with that I first learned that I could write my own songs. And it was actually Ryan Fergus from LBC that really gave me the confidence.
Awesome.
I put together a song, and I played the guitar on it, the bass on it, I sang it, I put some drums on it. And the thing is, those machines come with these loops, and I hated them all. I just didn't like it. So I sat there and I literally programmed every single beat, and I made sure that I could only have 4 things going at a time because we have 4 limbs. And I put the drums in there, and I didn't give it a second thought. I'm like, this is just what I need to do this song. And then Fergus heard it, and he's like, what the hell? I'm like, what? He's like, these drums are amazing. Like, what are you? I'm like, really? He's like, dude, you're really putting a song together. I'm like, yes. That was like my that was just like my boost to be like, yes, I'm doing this right. I'm gonna keep doing this, and that was cool. But it really took to another level when I finally just went to a computer and did it on GarageBand.
Yeah.
And I mean, the things I can do with GarageBand are mind blowing. I mean, I love doing horn sections, and like to do that on MIDI, I had to like research every horn, what their range is, and make sure I don't go past it because MIDI will let you go past it. So I had to make it where people could play live and all this stuff. I love when I'm having. Okay, so I play guitar decent, but not good enough to really play the things I come up with. Some of the tracks that we've done, I've recorded and we kept them, but for the more complex stuff, I have people come in and play it, and I love that everybody that's come in and played with me, I've taught them something on an instrument that they play. Because, they're like, well, I don't know how we can do that. I'm like, well, why don't you just put your finger here and slide that way? And this, like Jason Schultejan, Brad Chagdis, my guitarist Joe, everybody's been like, I never saw it that way. And I think the reason that is because I'm not a guitar player.
Right.
So I'm just like, well, why can't you do this? Well, I was never taught that. But yeah, I can do that. That's what it kept happening. It's same thing with Amory Schmeiser. He's my drummer from Swizzle Tree. He's now my engineer and drummer for everything I've done. And like, I would go into the studio and say, well, why can't we do this? He's like, I don't know. Okay, hold on, let's figure it out. And we can. And we did all kinds of stuff. Like, one of my favorites is, so if you guys know how auto-tune works, you can stretch things and do things with whatever and move the notes around. But I wanted to go further than that. I wanted to turn my voice into a chipmunk slowly. I wanted to go, oh, and just keep going, right? But auto-tune will not let you go past 1 octave. So what it does is it goes oh, like, so it was frustrating me. I'm like, okay, I went home, I thought about it. I didn't know how this stuff worked, but I see it when he's doing it. So I came back the next day. I'm like, okay, I got an idea. Let's do this. I'm gonna go oh and hold the note. He's like, all right, cool. All right, now you got to record it. Now start at that note, auto tune it up 1 octave, and stop. Then let's destructive edit it, and we have a new track. Great. Now let's go back in and auto tune the next one. And we did this. And now on this song, Save Me, by my band, The Power Cosmic, there's this moment in the last chorus where it just goes like, and now my voice becomes an instrument. It's like, beep, 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 beep,
Nice.
like it's, but like pushing Amo's limits, he is mind-blowingly good at engineering. There's nobody like him.
Fucking amen, because I can't.
It's amazing, dude. I
We
mean,
need
like,
more people. Like
seriously, if anybody wants to do something and push their limits, go to Amo. He will just totally pull it off. It's amazing.
Nice.
When let's wind it back to a little bit of the beginning in your youth. So when you guys were younger, music in the house all the time?
Kind of. Well, okay, so my mom is a singer, but she gave that up to do a family, raise a family. So there's music in our blood, but my dad was not into it. He doesn't get music. He just didn't understand it. So and we were also raised very, very Indian because we were in America and there was no Indians. There's a community, but I didn't know anything about American sports, American music, anything like that. So he did not want us listening to American music. I mean, but he didn't like music to the point where I just decided to play some Bollywood songs. He's like, no, turn this off. So it's weird. He just wasn't into it. But we still went through some minor classes, like learning a harmonium. It's like a harp. What is that thing where you accordion, except on the ground? And then some tabla. I tried to learn this stuff, never went anywhere. But we would sing stuff at these Indian community events, like on stage. Like we would sing the songs from the movies and stuff. My brother and I would get on stage and do it, like a talent show. But I did violin from 5th grade to 7th grade. But let me tell you this: I was playing by ear. I didn't even know what sharps and flats were. After 3.5 years of learning, they didn't teach me that. I didn't even know. That's what
typical.
Seriously, it was so weird. It wasn't until, but here's the thing: we would turn everything into a song when we were kids. But every kid does that. We didn't give it a second thought until, it was basically I was working at this place when I was a sophomore in high school, and I just started humming the bass line from a Green Day song, Longview. I'm just like do 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 do, and as I'm doing that, Steve Kroc walks in and he just starts singing the lyrics, and we just bonded. I'm like, dude, we should start a band. My brother's got a band. I could sing too. Let's do it. And boom, that was Swizzle Tree start. It was awesome. It was that simple.
Nice.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then from there, it just grew.
That's pretty amazing.
So high school was kind of the start?
Yeah, sophomore year of high school. Steve was my first actual friend in my life. Before that, I didn't have any friends. And when I met him, we just bonded. Because I was a socially awkward dork that didn't get anything, but I was still who I am now, but I just hadn't figured that stuff out. So he loved me for it, and we just bonded. And from that point, everything it was the first group of friends I had that I comfortably could say I love you to. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I had friends before that, but with this, it was we could get deep with each other and that kind of stuff. It was like a family,
Right.
and that just led to the music being so comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, when we met all you guys, it was kind of like this instant bond already. But it was there was such a story behind everything that you guys were doing that would take 10 years to catch up to understand the bond and the friendship between all the bands and shit like that. But I mean, what a fucking ride, huh?
Oh my God, seriously. I just think about I am not a wealthy person. I just kind of get by and that's my life and whatever. But nobody can say they did the things I did. How many people can say they opened for 311 in front of 15,000 people, of which 5,000 were singing your lyrics? I mean, that's insane. That blows my mind thinking about that, And
Did you pee in a sink at a frat house and almost get your ass kicked?
no, but Steve peed in a litter box once. That was hilarious.
Okay, all right.
That's where it belongs. So that's good.
Let me tell you, a human
one up
pissing in a
on
litter
Darren.
box fills the litter box.
Quite the accomplishment there.
Yeah, seriously.
Dude, where were some of the first venues you guys played around, like Downers Grove and Naperville and stuff?
Churches, which we played with the Play My Tees a few times. But the YMCA was probably our first like real in Downers Grove gig. I mean, we played at houses. You know, we played. Our first show was in my parents' basement.
Nice.
You know, and we played like 75% Green Day covers. You know, so we didn't even know anything. But I remember when we played at the YMCA, that was something we started. I'm not gonna say we as in Swizzle Tree, but we as in the Downers Grove community of bands of our generation.
Yep.
My brother's first band was Farm Boy, and so it was Farm Boy and Swizzle Tree playing at this YMCA.
Which they just put out, by the way.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
It's so cool. I'm so happy about
It's
that.
on Spotify.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we'd play the YMCA. Oh my God, I remember my brother's first drummer, Dave Lavezzi, his mom, the day after the show, like he had a really vulgar song, and she's like, Stubby swore 78 times at the show. She counted. She counted. Like, dude, come on, get over it. It's a show. It's people playing music. But yeah, after that, they had a rule that we can't swear at the YMCA. When we play.
Wow.
Jeez.
The ironic thing about that is Dave Lavezzi's mom was like just, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know, she was.
What was? Yeah, she was something.
Jeez.
What was the? what was like a typical Friday Saturday night for you guys when you're first getting started making music and everyone was like? So how far along was like LBC at this point?
LBC didn't exist yet.
Okay.
Farm Boy was first. My brother started a band with Eric Herbig. I love that kid. Actually, Eric lived in our basement for a while when he ran away from home. Anyway, so he started a band with Eric, and they started writing songs, and we started going to their shows in people's basements. But then that's when the thing with Steve happened when we were working. I'm like, let's start a band too. Once that started, we were attached at the hip. It was me, Steve, and Mark, and Mark Grau, our first drummer. And I mean, I swear, from my junior year to like the summer of senior year, I think I spent the day. I think I saw Mark every single day. Like we counted.
Wow.
It's been days since we haven't seen each other. It was like we were so close. But I don't know. Like we would.
Would you hang out with like your brother?
Yeah.
And that crowd, or were you guys like separate?
We had two separate crowds that were intermingled. It was weird because people thought there was like these rivalries between our bands and stuff. I'm like, he's my brother.
Yo, how far apart are you in age?
About a year and a half. 2 years in school.
Yeah, barely anything. Yeah.
So I mean, but like, I would hang out with him and his friends, and he would come hang out with me and my friends. And yes, we would hang out together, but we did have our own cliques.
Yeah.
I mean, it was interesting because his clique was not necessarily his band. His band was my age. Eric was in school with me. Emo Manuel.
Yeah.
He's actually playing live with Temple of Dome now.
Yeah.
He was a year younger than me. And who else was it? Dave Lavezzi was also in my age. I can't remember who else. He had so many bass players. But I mean, it's stupid. People thought there was a rivalry, and I'm like, he's literally my brother.
Yeah,
We share a room. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But-
So what was that like? Like being in two different bands at the same time. Your brother's on, doing Farm Boy, and you're fucking rocking and rolling. And you and Swizzle are trying to figure out like who you are and where you're going.
Well, I'll tell you this. One of the weird things was, and I'm sure my brother got this a lot, like, I appreciated it, but I didn't want to hear it, is when people would come up to me like, you're so much better than your brother. Like, do you really think I want to hear that? I mean, come on. He's my brother. I love him. I'll say this. I don't, he is the reason I'm in this. I mean, he guided me. He was...
Were you guys like pushing each other though? Is that kind of what I'm getting at? Like, what
No,
was it
it
like
was
being
more-
in that bedroom at night after you came home from being in your bands and you know what I mean?
I mean, not really, not so much. Our musical lives didn't really connect.
Amazing.
We were not on the writing level, not on like that kind of stuff,
Sure.
But more than anything, to me, I just he and his abilities was something I was aspiring to. I mean, what I can do with lyrics now is what he did like from the first song he ever wrote. Like he's a poet. He's a natural poet, He's writing a book right now. He's so good with just words. He's just so good with that. So, and he would write such catchy melodies. Like I remember listening to and this is after Farm Boy, but I remember listening to LBC songs and being like, does he just pick one word and decide this is the hook? Beware, I swear, blame this. I'm like, every song was just such a hook. I'm like, how are you doing this? You know, because and now I'm in a place where I'm trying to figure out how to write songs without hooks, stuff like what Radiohead does, or I guess Grateful Dead, or stuff like. I haven't gotten there yet, and I know this sounds like a flex, like a brag, but I mean it almost like in a negative way. I can't write a song without a hook. I don't know how people do that when they write songs that you enjoy listening to, but there's no hook.
Right.
I don't get it. I have to have that one catchy thing, you know, like it's, I don't know how to do it. Otherwise, when I try to do that, I just don't like the song. It's boring. You know, I can't do it. Like, that's a hell of a talent, you know, to make something without a hook, without a single thing that you walk away singing, but you thoroughly enjoyed it.
Huh.
It's hard.
I'm trying to think of an example.
Yeah, I know.
Like, because it's like if there's like
well,
a lack
I mean,
of
the best
hooks.
examples I'll find is some Radiohead songs.
Okay.
Because, you know, they were totally pop, you know, with Pablo Honey.
Yeah.
And as they evolved, they got a little more experimental with their stuff. Once they got past everything to, like, let's say, past OK Computer to Kid A and Amnesiac and yada yada.
Yeah.
There are some songs that I just love, and I don't know a single word from.
I see what you're saying.
I've
heard some
and a
of those
lot of their
names,
stuff
yeah.
is just like, oh God, just stop already. You know, it's just so draining to listen to it. But the hooky stuff, it's not hooks. I don't know how to explain how they do it. They make me enjoy listening to their music without a single thing walking away singing it. And I'm a singer, so it's weird for me, you know?
Yeah, what's weird is like I'm trying to relate because I never got into Radiohead, if you
Really?
can believe it or not.
Not
Yeah.
even like OK Computer.
I mean,
and
a
the
little
bands?
bit from Darren playing it in the room, you know, my brother. But I mean, like, I never put on one record and actually like
Wow.
listen to it through.
Okay,
And yet somehow you can write songs without hooks all night.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you this. I told you about the story with Derek. You know, how he told me how to fix my, like, the wrong note and yada.
Yeah.
Okay. What led to that was a night of a certain type of intoxication, and we were, everybody was jamming songs, you know. So first it was like a bunch of, you know, boots and pants and stuff. I'm like, okay, cool, this is trippy, whatever. Then our friend put on some Fish, and I'm like, wow, I've never appreciated this on this level. And then I'm like, okay, now let's do some Radiohead. I was trying to put on Kid A, couldn't find it on my phone. This was before streaming was a regular thing, and so I put on OK Computer, and as I listened to it. And I'm sitting there, you know, hallucinating, and I'm just like, "What?" This was towards the end of Liquid Hot Magma when I was starting to do my own stuff, and I had this moment where I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" I am so mad. And everybody's like, "What?" I'm like, "I have no idea what the hell they're playing, and it works. Why can't I do that?" They're not playing a major key or a minor key. They're playing something else, and they make it work. Why can't I do this? And like. That moment was, I didn't figure out how to do it. When I figured it out was when Derek explained it. But that was my moment where I'm like, no, screw this. I am going to figure this out. I don't care that everybody says, we don't know how to write to that. I'm going to figure out how to write to this, you know? And
Set your path.
yeah, like, and I learned about the harmonic minor and how that works, like how a lot of the things I've been doing are harmonic minors. Like, but it goes even beyond that. Like, it's, I don't know. It's interesting. Okay, so here's something I love to do now. I realize that if I write a melody and at a separate moment I write a chord progression, it doesn't matter. As long as they're in the same time signature, I can fit this over that. Doesn't matter. No matter what, I can do it. All I have to do is alter a note here and there. And that's something I didn't think was possible before. You know, you just change whatever is sour, you fix it. And all of a sudden, you end up with a progression and a melody that you would not have come up with because you forced yourself to fit the line.
Interesting way to look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me show you another way to look at it. So when my daughter's taking guitar classes, and I told her teacher about this. I played him some of my music, and I told him that, you know, it's fun because I'll write a melody, and then the challenge is finding the chord progression that fits under it. And then I played him some of my stuff. He's like, oh yeah, that's blah, 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 this. And then I'm like, what are you talking about? So then he showed me the major scale, which I know. Then he's like, but now let's turn it into chords. And he said, this one's major, this one's minor, this one's major. And like he told me what they would be, you know, like A, B, C, D through,
mapped
through
it
G,
out
right?
for you.
And he mapped it out for me. And he said, this is your standard chords that fit with each other. What you're doing is putting in something else. So why don't you try this? On purpose, play the wrong chord. Like, what? He's like, just do it on purpose. Just pick a wrong chord and play it. So now what I've been doing lately is I'll play a chord progression that I'm writing and I'll be like, okay, now I'm just going to pick a chord and change it. And I force myself to make it work with the melody. And all of a sudden I have a hook I never would have come up with.
Sure.
It's amazing. I love it. Like, everything can work if you make all the instruments flow together with it.
Sure.
And that's just the most recent thing I've learned. I can't wait till I learn the next thing. It's
Yeah. So you're on a path of discovery of like not only yourself, but trying to figure out a new way to invent songwriting in your circle.
I want to teach people the shit I've learned. I want to show people that there's no limits to. No, that's the wrong way to put it. There are limits, but there is no limit to how much you can write. Like, I mean, I have limits. I can't do, electronic dance music. I can't write a country song. But in my style, I will never run out of stuff to write.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean by no limits. And I want to help other songwriters reach that. I want them to understand that there's no such thing as writer's block. You just don't think your current songs are as good as your old ones. That's it. That's all it is. Just stop judging yourself. Finish writing the song you're writing. Now write another one.
Yeah.
Do it 6 more times, and guess what? Your 7th one is going to be a fucking hit.
Right.
That's just how it is. You can't be somebody that writes once in a while. Writing is like a muscle. It's a brain thing, and you have to write more so you can get better and better.
Absolutely.
If you stop, it's so hard to start again.
That's what all those self-help books about writing tell you. And like when you keep that voice memo thing going on a regular basis, like it does help. It comes more freely. You know what I mean?
I love that you said that, because another thing I read in one of those books is don't get hung up on any one thing that
Not
you
at
think
all.
is great.
Totally.
I have so many things that are just like that are so cool musically, but I haven't figured out how to make a song out of it yet. So it's just on the back
Put it
burner.
aside. You'll find it again.
Exactly. And it's like, it's cool stuff, but that's the thing. Just never stop writing your next song. That's the best advice I can give to any songwriter. Never stop writing. I mean, if you write a crappy song, don't stop. Finish your crappy song. And if you get stuck, okay, you know what was a huge thing for me is having kids. I suddenly was able to get past my lyrical block and write songs about boogers and dinosaurs and like good songs about boogers and dinosaurs. And that's when I realized I'm like, I could just do whatever. She is also a huge factor towards my lyrical stuff. Like, okay, so I had a song, it's called When You're Brown. I released it under the Power Cosmic. And when I was dating my previous girlfriend, I was playing the song and she was so offended. Because there's a line in the song where I go, when you're brown, the white girls don't go down. Oh. And, she got so offended. And I'm like, do you really think this is about you? I mean, it's not true about you, so why are you so offended? And like, I just kind of felt compressed, like held back, like, okay, you're not allowed to do this. This isn't okay. You can't do this. And when we got together, before I released When You're Brown, I was doing this song Butterfly. And I told her, I'm like, I got this great song. It's so awesome. I just got to fix the lyrics in the second half. She's like, what are the lyrics? I'm like, jacuzzis, lots of pretty girls wearing itty bitty little bikinis. And before I even finished, she's like, what the hell's wrong with that? That's awesome. Yeah, right. My wife said this. And I'm like, right. Oh my God, I love you. And like, and that just opened me up.
You needed a cheerleader.
I did. I needed somebody to tell me it's okay. You're writing about sex and hot girls and weed and yada yada, but you're not insulting anyone. You're not degrading anyone. You're not saying bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. That's not what I'm saying, I even have a song that I have a feeling will not go over well later, but it's literally about very vulgar stuff about penis and whatnot. But the reality is it's a love song about how whipped I am over her. But if you have to listen to all the lyrics to get that.
Yeah.
That most people that have heard it randomly are like, oh God, you're so bad. I'm like, listen to the lyrics. I'm literally saying I'm whipped.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, when the chorus is my penis will bring you happiness whenever there's no sweat between us, it's gonna, so. It's a good one too. It's got a lot of good. It's a ska song. It's awesome.
Oh,
Nice.
ska!
Hell yeah.
There you go, ska boy. I've been calling Mike ska boy lately.
Really?
Yeah.
Why are you so ska?
I mean, how could I not be?
Yeah, he's always been
That's
so
all I can
ska,
say.
man.
You sleeping over there, Mike?
I'm just,
Taking it all
thinking
in?
about ska bands.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But I love
ska
that
bands. I
you're-
gotta say that real quick. I just figured this out. So everybody sings the wrong words when they don't know what they are. And sometimes we just make up sounds when we don't know what they're singing, like with Radiohead.
Krabaziba.
There's a Mighty Mighty Boss Tones song, all right, and I didn't know what the words were, so I thought it was the last Tirana, do it again, right? So I finally now, after 20 years, looked up the lyrics, and I was right. It is the last Tirana, do it again, but it's actually the last hurrah, nah, do it again. I was like, oh my God, I was right. I didn't know it. It's actually right.
That's great.
Good ears. Good ears.
Rascal King. What's the rest?
The Rascal King behind the bars and the one in front of them.
Yeah. Good song.
Yeah,
Ska.
dude, ska bands have the best bass lines.
I mean, yes.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I have nothing
Tango
wrong
over
with
here.
ska. I just
Ska's amazing.
You talking shit about Ska? I'll fuck you up,
Yeah, right.
motherfucker.
What's up? I got this guy over here, ska boy.
Well, you know, that's another thing that I loved about just like being done with bands and doing my own project. I stopped having a genre. Like everything is different. I mean, like if you were to listen to all of my songs, you probably wouldn't like them all because they're all jumping from genre to genre, and like it's something that
but what you-
Beck inspired me.
What
to
you do
love
have
that.
with Temple of Dome is a common thread with the concept.
Right.
You
Yes.
know, which is fucking brilliant.
Well, people
You
will
know?
tell me that my voice is the thing that makes it all the same, but you know, it's oh man, I don't know. I feel like it is the right choice to have a style, build a following, and they know what to expect and like what you do. But I imagine for many, many artists, it's limiting.
Sure.
Sugar Ray, for example.
Yeah.
I remember him saying, these are not the type of songs we do, but since that's the hit we had, I Just Want to Fly, we're going to write more songs like that.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, they were super
And I-
punk, right? To begin with.
And I'm gonna go ahead and make an assumption here, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but this also applies to Play My Tees.
Yep. I was just about to say it,
I
but,
remember the
yeah.
story about Hey There Delilah, and I remember my brother telling me this. He's like, yeah, Tom called me, and he was unsure because he said he thinks he wrote a hit. And my brother's like, okay, yeah, that's great, that's awesome. And Tom's like, yeah, but dude, it's nothing like any of our other songs. And I love what my brother said to him. He's like, is it a good song? And Tom's like, yeah. He's like, then just do it.
Right.
And I know I'm paraphrasing here. I don't know exactly what the conversation was, but dude, that's the reality of it. I mean, it's not like Tom has to write a bunch of Hey There Delilahs. It's just that he wrote this one, and it's great. Who cares if it's not like the rest of your songs? It's
Yeah.
awesome. Look at Stained. I'm feeling those lighters, everybody. I mean, come on. It's that one song made them huge, but they're like a heavy metal band.
Yep.
Yeah.
Goo Goo Dolls, similar.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, isn't name quite a bit different than most of their stuff.
I mean, they definitely
And then
started
they
out.
started doing more
Yeah, it's
like
a
that. But
major
before-
punk band.
Well, yeah, they
Yeah.
were like a punk band before that, right?
Yeah.
Can I just say, I really hope they open up for Lady Gaga so we can have a Goo Goo Gaga tour.
Goo Goo Gaga.
Fucking A.
That is good.
I'd
That'd be
go.
awesome.
Jesus.
So, are you actively writing more music together?
Constantly.
Yeah, constantly.
Well, okay. At this point, I'm obviously the main songwriter in this group, but I don't know. What I love about this is the guitarist I work with. He is great, and he gives me stuff, and I turn it into songs. But he will never hesitate to say, "Oh, that's great. I'll just play that." You know, like because I'll write stuff, and he'll just be like, "Yeah, let's do this." And I'll literally sit there with him and make him record the perfect version of it. Of the thing I wrote. A song we just released, Mary Jane. The lead. Okay, first of all, the chorus. Okay, you know what? Let me go to that story first. So that song started. I was at my brother's house. He had a new guitar. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play this. And I was obsessed with chromatic stuff. So I wrote something that was, I think it was like 6 chromatic notes in a row in a progression. And I'm like, this is so cool, dude. I got 6 chromatic notes in a row, but I have a full like plucking pattern throughout all of it. And he's like, yeah, those things are cool, but they become like intros and whatnot because you can't really sing over them. I'm like, challenge accepted.
Oh,
So I took it even further. Now that riff, it does 11 chromatic notes and then goes back to the root. And but it's not like down down down. It's down 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 down, and it's like complicated. and I put a 3-part harmony over it and it became my chorus. I'm like, oh yeah.
You like a lot of movement in your songs, yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of all the instruments doing the same thing, and I don't mean that as an insult to people who do it that way. It's just I like pushing the limits. I love when a weird rhythm comes up because your bass player is doing something one way and your guitarist is doing something the other way, and like instead of having dun dun cha chicka chun cha and do 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 do, you end up with chung chun do dun chung do, and like they interact with each other, you know.
Right.
That I love that kind of stuff, you know. And I've found that one of my favorite things about music theory, about getting so much better at it, and I'm by no means an expert. I'm nowhere near the really good people, but after everything I've learned, I still write things that I have no idea what the hell they are.
Yeah.
And I just go with it because it sounds good.
Right.
Like, you know, people say, oh, you learn too much theory and you're going to get all technical. Fine. I get technical to figure out everything else after I write the main part. You know, because if you don't know the technical stuff, how are you going to find your harmonies?
Well, you're falling in love with your craft is what you're doing. So, like, basically you went from, like, oh, we're in high school, drink some beers. Now, like, I'm so fucking in love with music. I want to know every single fucking aspect of it. You know?
That's why I want to write with so many different people that write different from me to push my limits. You know,
I got the perfect club for you. We'll talk about it after this.
It's frustrating though. You know what I mean? Because the people I'm friends with that I would want to write with, they're actually much more successful than me in their music, and they don't have time for me. And I get that. I'm no way talking shit, but like, you know, I want to write with people. I really do. I
feel like you're the secret weapon.
I am, dude. I'm telling you, I know how to take everybody's song to the next level.
I mean,
without forcing my ideas on it. That's something I've wanted to.
I'm available here after this podcast.
I'm down, dude. I'm so serious. I want to write with anybody. Okay, so I talked to Adam Cryer about it. And I'm like, hey, let's write some songs together. And something he said, I was like, that's just not true. He said, okay, well, yeah, let's do it, but I can't guarantee anything good will come of it. And I didn't say this, but I wanted to say, well, I can.
Yeah.
Because I don't write bad songs. I may not write a hit every time, but I will never write something that's not good. Yeah. If it's not good, I move on to the next idea. That's the whole point, you know? And if you've ever heard of the concept of polishing a turd, I can turn something just obnoxious and annoying into something that's pleasant to listen to. So if we take something good, it's just going to be amazing. But the idea that Adam Cryer is not going to write something good is just hard for me to believe.
Yeah, he's just being off shucks.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I'm saying. It's like, but that's the reality of it. I mean, not every song needs to be a hit, but it doesn't mean every song you write isn't going to be good.
Yeah.
I refer to Adam as the only rock star in Chicago. The only real fucking one at that point.
Yeah.
That guy.
He embraces his, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I guess I could be one, but I'm not rock star. I'd be a songwriter. You know, like I don't have that image. You know, oh my God, I actually wrote a song about that. I haven't released it yet, but it's called Cool Like You.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
I'll play it for you guys after this.
Yeah,
But,
fuck yeah.
Brad Chagdis actually played on that one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was funny too because like I wanted him to sing some parts. He's like, I don't know if I can hit that note. I'm like, listen, I've listened to your track. I checked what note you hit. I know you can hit it. Hit the damn note. And his voice is so cool.
Yeah,
when he
you
hits
gotta
those high
smack his ass a little bit. He's getting all down in the dumps. We gotta get him writing again.
Actually, our next, I just started writing a song for him.
Oh, fuck
yeah,
yeah.
he, my brother and I have like this text thread. We talk a lot about our songs, and he's been working on stuff. And he's like, "You guys have anything for me?" I'm like, "No, but let me write something." So I just started writing something like a few days ago, and I sent it to him, and it's cool. So I'm excited. I hope he writes it with me, but if not, I'll write a song for him.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love it.
I got a song for you
Yeah.
that I started, didn't finish. It's about polishing turds.
Let's do it. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah, dude. I'm so serious.
You're gonna finish it.
Okay.
Make it happen.
Bring it to me,
And
man.
you're gonna put it out.
We have this thing. I'll just briefly, because we talk about it on like every pod that we've already done so far. But Mike and I will send each other like 2-minute song ideas. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is.
I'll throw in the occasional joke one as well.
So like, you know, over the last couple of days, we're on a thread together, and like they'll say something ridiculous, and then I take it and I go in my bathroom and I fucking write something to it really quick. And like, I even went a step further the other night. I made some album artwork. I thought it was pretty. Moose Knuckle Joe.
Yeah,
it's a great song. I think you'd like it.
It's good because, man, your strongest suit is like letting it rip, kind of improv, honest to God.
Yeah.
Like when you used to write those kind of songs when we were kids, that's some of your best work, dude.
Yeah, and I think see, getting to the whole writing thing and kind of where you're going with all this, I think what we've been realizing is that if you say like, hey, I got to go take a big shit today, and you turn that into a song.
I did, actually.
Our drummer Emo did that too.
Fuck, yeah, you guys.
Yeah, dude.
He was talking about a shit that was like really tough, and then girls come up to him, they're like, "Who's that girl that broke your heart?" He's like, "I was talking about her taking a shit." Anyway, continue.
No, but so what we've been finding out is that like it loosens you up to the point where you don't give a fuck, right? So you're like you're passionate, you're right, but you're not thinking about it.
Well, it's just kind of
just
something to
happens.
get the creative wheels in motion. Like, doesn't matter what the fuck you're writing, send something over. And we stopped doing it. We shouldn't have stopped.
Oh, I asked you the other day. I sent you. What did I send you? Something about the Camaro or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, just writing or just hearing something in your head and trying to make it happen,
But
in the
absolutely.
box or whatever.
What we were talking about, so we had Deanna Bellis on the show, and we're from Sincere Engineer, and we were talking about getting like a group of people together to kind of do like instead of just the two of us, and like doing that. So maybe we do that.
Yes,
That'd be
please,
super fun.
100%. That's like one. Okay, so Temple of Dome released a song called "Day Drinker" with our first EP. On that song are a lot of guest singers. Let me try to name them all. Hold on, let's see. Shit, my God. Okay, so Johnny Smith, Schmidt.
Yeah.
All right. He's on it. Ramsey and Derek Hassan are on it. My brother's on it. Brad was on it. Somebody from Alistair. Who was
Alistair.
God?
Damn.
I'm trying to blank. There's so many names. I'm trying to put it all together. Like all these people came in. It's Tim. Tim from Alistair. He actually wasn't there that day, but everybody else I invited out to Amo Studio, and I said we're gonna do this song together. And every single one of them got their own lead line at the end of the song.
Was it like "We Are the World" shit or what?
Kind of, but it's about day drinking.
Okay.
You know. But
Wait, no, I know. I fucking heard it.
So you heard
yeah.
the end of that song. It's me going, I'm a day drinker and singing something, and then the next guy, then me, then the next guy, then me, and then like I lined it after it was all done. Brad comes up to me, he's like, "This is the most complex arrangement I've ever seen for a song." I'm like, "Yeah, dude. Usually people don't have 7 lead singers on a song, you know." But it was awesome.
Unless you're One Life.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
God, what I would give to have all the vocals from One Life with me live. God. I write some awesome vocal stuff that just I don't have any other singers in my band. I have to figure out how to do everything I've done recorded live with one voice. It's rough.
Yeah, but that's what's making you.
You do a great fucking job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's fun. I mean, honestly, like one of my favorite things is when I'm singing a line to switch between my lead and my harmony, so I can hit that higher note at the end and yada yada. Like it's it's fun. It's exciting to do that stuff with. I feel like it's like the kind of thing we used to do when we'd be like, okay, we gotta play acoustic, but this song's rock. How do we change it? And like that's what I'm doing with my voice. I have 6 voices on here, but it's just me. How do I change it? And it's fun, to push my limits to see if I can make a song sound as good as recorded without all the harmonies.
Yeah. Let's get to the video portion because you're making some fucking kick-ass fucking
Yeah,
videos.
man.
The next video, it's actually done. I'm just being lazy about releasing it. The song we released was 10 Joint Challenge a few months ago, but that's the.
By the way, you know what you texted me, right?
What
when
was
I
it?
asked you to be on the podcast, or were you so fucking out of it you don't remember?
Well, I asked you to smoke, right?
You were like, first of all, do you smoke? And I'm like, no. And you're like, oh, man. He's like, well, I'm shooting this video tomorrow, and I need somebody that can smoke like a fucking 1,000 joints.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Dude, it was intense. By the end of that video, I'm like, I'm so glad we're done because I can't focus right now.
I mean, how in the fuck did you...
It was intense. I mean, I'm sure we smoked about 26, 27 joints that day, but
Jeez.
the video is hilarious. I'm embracing my inner Beetlejuice in it. I'll show you guys the video later.
Nice.
But
Yo, when you say 26, 27, how many people?
10 people, and it's a 10 joint challenge. Each person gets 1 joint, and you pass to the left, take from the right. That's literally the lyrics in the song.
my God.
And like the point is, you don't. So technically, it's the equivalent of smoking.
Did you shit your pants?
No, no. But no, I mean, it's the equivalent of smoking a joint by yourself without ever taking a break between hits.
Okay.
So you pass to the left, you get the next joint, take a hit. Pass to the left, take a next. That's the 10 joint challenge.
Amazing.
And the lyrics are literal. That guy almost did die falling off the balcony, and yada yada. He fainted after it. You know, it's crazy stuff. I mean, he didn't fall off. But I'm saying he could have died if he fell off. But still, yeah. So the videos. Okay, so the videos are a prelude to something I want to do. I don't know if I can. I'm gonna try. I'm working on it. I want to have a musical.
Nice.
About weed.
Nice.
I've got 13 songs already, and I can write 100 more if I need to. It's not a problem. You know, there's unlimited things I can say about it, but I got to figure out everything else besides the songs. Because, you know, like in a musical, even the dialogue is sung.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I got to figure all that out. Actually, Ramsey Hassan is totally going to work with me on. I guess he has a musical theater background from high school, so we're going to work on that together.
Speaking of fucking Ramsey, not to get off the track, what in the fuck is he doing? He's Ramsey and the Loafers?
Yeah, he wants to play music again. So
so is he just doing all the Loafer songs?
I don't know if he's writing new stuff, but yes, I mean that from what I understand, that's what he's doing. So good for him. You know what I mean?
Kick ass.
Dude, it depresses me when I think about how many people aren't making music anymore. Like Steve Kroc is a really good songwriter. It's so sad that he's not doing it all the time anymore. Yeah, I guess he doesn't want to, but the handful of songs he wrote after Swizzle Tree, I'm like, this is so good. You know, I just want to encourage him. But
And he didn't record them?
he released one of them, but I don't know where. Like, it's not on iTunes. So
yeah, I remember a while back. I follow obviously everything on his socials and stuff or whatever. But he was like singing a fucking song on an acoustic or something on his Instagram story or something.
Yeah,
it was really fucking good.
Yeah, there's this one song he did, "Promise You." It was so good. But like, I mean, I guess it's just not what he's doing anymore. But
I mean, what is he doing? Just like full-time booking?
Yeah,
bands
booking and
shit?
just
Right?
living life. You know, he's I don't know the full situation, but he's got a girlfriend and a kid. They're all living together, and they're living their life. You know,
Are you guys all still kind of talking and stuff?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, there's no bad blood if that's what you're wondering. But our talking is very rare, and that's just a matter of convenience. You know,
Yeah.
like we don't. I don't do anything anymore. I'm a dad. I stay at home and I hang out with my family. If we a party with people, it's usually because we're like, hey, the kids are asleep. Do you want to come over? You know, it's stuff like that. You know, so I don't really go out and hang out with people. And Steve is still in the business where he's out at the venues and stuff. You know, so it's like we don't hook up as much. Tadish I see all the time. He's actually living in my apartment building, so I'm his landlord technically, so I see him all the time.
Really?
So we hang out a lot. But yeah, besides that, I mean, Jiggles is living in Arizona.
Yeah.
So I never see him, obviously. But Amo, I see all the time because I go to the studio to record. So that's spectacular.
Where do you hope to be in the next couple of years?
Well, I mean, I don't have any delusions of grandeur here, but it frustrates me that when I get to the best point of songwriting, I have no way of getting it out there. It's so frustrating. Like, I'm happy making songs, making music for myself, and I'm happy that the handful of people that hear it are blown away. But I don't know. I feel like I could write songs for movies. I feel like I write songs for other people. Yeah. I feel like there is no limit I could do when it comes to the writing part of it.
Yeah.
I just have no business sense. My videos would probably be out sooner if I had a manager or a label. Just because it's all on me, and I'm not that guy. I'm the songwriter. I'm the guy that gets the music. I'm the guy that does that, but I'm not the business guy, and I force it on myself. I try, but I don't know how to promote stuff, and that's where I'm stuck.
Dude,
I mean,
I'm with you, dude. Yeah.
it's frustrating, I mean, everybody that hears it is blown away, but none of them know how to bring it to the next level. I can't. I feel like I've definitely written songs that could easily be on the radio, but who's going to do it for me? I don't know how to do that. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. If I could afford it, I mean, I'm not rich, so that's another problem. If I could afford it, I could easily release a song every 2 weeks. Because I don't see any reason why I can't write another one. If that was my job, if I got to make music 8 hours a day, I would never run out of ideas. I just don't think I will. I just don't see that as a possibility.
I mean, I think that's all of our, if we could be strapped down, not being,
But see, that's the thing. I'm spending money on making music, not making money. And I mean, it's expensive, but I don't care. It's the moments in Swizzle Tree and Liquid Hot Magma when we weren't writing songs. I didn't know this at the time, but I was depressed. That's what was wrong with me. We weren't making music. I need music. It's just the thing that levels me out. It's the thing that keeps me sane.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like the whole thing. if you make, like you just got to keep making the music. Don't worry about how it's going to get put out. Don't worry about like how you're going to work some social shit that people aren't really even paying attention to except for a split second and then scroll to the next fucking thing. I would say just keep writing fucking songs. And then sooner or later, you're going to fucking meet people. You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole new world out there, and we don't really even understand because you and I have been so removed from that shit. You know what I mean?
You know what? Oh, sorry. You were going to say something?
I would say get on the social media shit and blast that stuff out. Because that's kind of where we're at,
See, this is where I'm stuck, okay? Without getting into a sob story, my social life was hell until I met Steve. I was the guy with the cooties, so I had 0 friends in grade school. People would accidentally touch me and have to go run to the bathroom to wash their hands. Like, it was that bad. It was pretty bad. That ended in junior high, but at that point, I had not developed social abilities yet. I didn't know how to be friends. The only things I knew was to act like the kids from sitcoms, which is not how human beings behave. So like it was hell. I couldn't figure that stuff out, and I'm still suffering from it. Like, the bullying really had a massive impact on me. Every time I'm writing a post, I'm having an anxiety attack.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, even coming here, even though I know you guys, it's so anxious. I have to like block that and say, these are my friends, I'm gonna go hang out. But like, it's just this thing I have trouble letting go of. So I don't have the natural skills that social media need. It's not about not getting computers. It's about not getting how to be social.
Somehow, I think on Facebook or whatever, Back to My Dealer showed up in my feed, and I was, blown away by the song and the video and your fucking performance.
Yes.
I was like, holy fuck. And I'm showing the band, I'm showing all my friends, I'm sending it to these guys. I'm like, fuck it, hey, look at, this is amazing. That's all it takes is a post.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
And there was, I don't even know if you wrote anything. I just clicked play on the fucking video, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, I'm not saying not saying don't post shit. I'm just saying like concentrate on the fucking music. You know what I mean? Everything else will come.
Right.
But I would say make that a part of it.
Here's your
if you write a song, you put it out.
Thank you.
I mean, okay, so I'll be honest with you. So Mary Jane, I didn't put out right away because it wasn't good enough. There was issues in my vocal and stuff. Like, I even actually posted something about that. And there was this one line where I'm like, when you're down to a dime bag. But like, the when sucked. The when was awful. I just couldn't do it. So like, I was late releasing it. But I was even later releasing it because I have anxiety, and I was like, should I put it out yet? Should I put it out yet? Like,
Totally,
it's stupid. Like, I wish I had somebody managing me that was just like, yeah, dude, give me the song. Let's do it. I could write music indefinitely, but this other stuff, it breaks me. It's hard. I don't know how to deal with it.
You want to hear what heals anxiety? Oh, that's a Waterloo. Sorry.
This segment brought to you by Waterloo. No, I wanted to talk about that though, because when I saw and heard Back to My Dealer, like, first I thought this is one of the best songs, if not the best song I've ever heard you write. Like, it's incredible, and I think that would work on the radio very well. But yeah, that video, man, you performed the hell out of it. Like, you are so charismatic and like eminently likable in that video. It's perfect, dude.
What we're fucking trying to tell you.
It's very hard to do. It's so hard to do.
If you can pull that off, you can post shit on social media.
When people, when people put a camera in your face, dude, that's not easy, man.
Okay, so we love Swizzle Tree. We love everything you've done. But my brother fucking told me, he goes, have you seen that fucking video?
Exactly.
There's something about this fucking guy and what he's doing right now that is it. Like, whatever the fuck you're doing right now, dude, it's it.
I think I watched it like 20 times.
Yeah.
No joke.
Thank you.
For real.
That, man, like, the vocals on that, I've never sung like that really before. Like, it's a little emulating screamo emo stuff a bit, like with like squeaky shit in my voice. But, okay, that's something I haven't talked about. I talked about theory. I talked about lyrics. With my voice, I remember when Lauren and I first got together, her mom she loves music and she knows music, like, to the point where, like, there was this funny story. Some kids pulled up next to her rocking out LBC. And they're like, hey, lady, you know what this song is? And she totally told them, yeah, it's blah, blah, blah. They're like, whoa.
Yeah, it's
Like,
it's 40/80 shit. Yeah.
So, so I remember telling her that, okay, so we're putting on, this was during Liquid Hot Magma, and I'm like, yeah, we're putting out a record, we're doing this and that, and, I was talking to her about it, and I was telling her, I'm like, I just want to reach this new level in my vocal, and she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, and I told her about, okay, so I'm going to tell you a handful of artists I'm inspired by, but this one specifically, Motley Crue. There's a Home Sweet Home, that song. Just the way he says the word night, and I'm like, this is a ballad. What the hell? And I heard that. I'm like, so you don't have to sound like a pussy when you sing a ballad. Like, that was a new thing for my mind. I didn't get it. And so I remember telling her mom, Barb, I'm like, I just want to sing and sound like a badass. Mm-hmm. She's like, yeah, okay, I get that. I'm like, that's it. I'm like, I can always hit the notes. I can always do harmonies, but I want to emote. It reminds me of something my ex-girlfriend said. She's like, I wish you would just sing a song where I can feel it. And that hurt.
Whoa,
my God, did
dude.
that hurt.
Like you haven't done it yet, right? Like,
But it made me realize that I never cared as much about feeling as much as I did about hitting the notes. And that's how Swizzle Tree was, And after that, like, I really started paying attention to stuff. Pay attention to Mike Patton. I listened to something Chris Cornell said. He's like, my goal was always to see what's the next weird thing I could do with my voice. I just listened to Korn and like Nicki Minaj doing stick with her voice, like, and I realized the weirder you are, and you embrace it and turn it musical, the more people are gonna like it.
Yeah.
Does anybody care to hear Billy Corgan's voice if he's not singing? That sucks. I hate his voice, but man, does he nail it? And that's when I realized I'm just gonna do whatever the hell comes to mind. And I just started doing weird noises with my voice, like, just meow. There's a song. Oh wait, fuck. Which one is it? Oh yeah, The Life. The Life, and if you want to look it up, is The Life by The Power Cosmic. My daughter loves this song, and I do too because of the message. The chorus is, "You got to learn to love the life you're living," And this is something that I wrote after Swizzle Tree because I was like, I don't care. This is music. This is my life. I'm happy. I wrote it. But there's a moment in there where I go, where like the song, the chorus ends and it's like going into like a little bridge thing, and I'm just like, I just did that, and I'm like,
awesome.
And like I heard it, and I'm like, this is awesome! Oh my God! Like, I just started embracing being stupid and weird, and it just
being
suddenly,
you.
yeah, and it brought me to a whole new level of like being able to express myself with my voice.
Because up to this point, you've been hiding.
Yeah, I really was, and I didn't know what I could do with my voice. And then I realized, like, I'm actually really good at doing weird voices and stuff, so I'm just going to start doing them while I sing, Well,
like, it's fucking working, because, like I said, when I walked into that room, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? There's no fucking way that this is the same fucking song. You were just like, everything about you was different. And our conversation all night long was so positive, and it's like, holy shit. So 2.5 years later, here we fucking are with fucking crotch rockets popping wheelies on North Avenue.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Somebody's
Sitting in the
race.
McGregor's parking lot where fucking everything used to happen right behind us.
Dude, I actually did some of that vocal stuff with my side project
Yeah.
stuff, and it was so fun. Like, it was mostly messing around on GarageBand, like in the demo phase and stuff, but instead of doing like a solo section, I did this kind of low to high growl thing.
Yeah.
And I just messed with it, and it's like, it can't be reproduced. It's like, it's an original thought, it's an original thing,
Actually, speaking of GarageBand, I record everything on it.
Yeah.
All my professional recordings are me recording at home on GarageBand,
Oh, dude.
sending it to studio, and Emil does it in Pro
Yeah,
Tools.
I have definitely made things on GarageBand. I feel like, dude, if someone mixes this, it's perfectly ready to go. Absolutely. Yeah,
I listened to this whole, it was some kind of YouTube video today with Patrick Stump, like actually doing a song on GarageBand and showing how it works and all this shit. I don't even know what year it was from, but it was pretty kick-ass. Like, I never fucked with that. I went straight to Logic. That's what I'm learning on. But it was
Logic's
just like,
cool too, yeah.
there's benefits of both from what I learned today, So it's like, it doesn't matter.
Like, for
Pick
somebody
one
like
and
me
go
that's
with it.
not very computer literate,
Same.
GarageBand's the shit.
Exactly.
I love
Same
it.
here.
I mean, and
How many of us suck at the computer? Raise your hand.
Oh,
3 out
God.
of 4 here,
Yeah,
4 to 5.
fucking-
Tondo's
what
the only
happened?
one, yeah.
I don't know, man, and it's weird. Like I was telling you before, I am a math and science brain. I mean, I was like years ahead in math when in school, and and when it comes to science, I really don't know anybody that knows more than me. It's weird because I don't know any actual scientists. You know, but I'm not saying but like I get it. I really do. Like science is normal to me. It makes perfect sense thinking about black holes and neutron stars and thinking
Love
about
that stuff,
how
yeah.
weather affects this and that. And think about the ionosphere, like just chemicals and everything makes perfect sense to me. Why can't I figure out computer science?
Yeah.
I can't do it. I don't get it. It's weird. It's just the one thing that my brain will not let me understand.
Because you're a Mac guy.
That
He
is
the
true.
He is the PC guy in the
And who's the guy that knows about computers? And that's me.
That guy.
I'm just saying.
Well, the
I
reason
should
I'm a
take-
Mac guy is because I don't know about computers.
But
It's made for the dummy.
I'm
It's
gonna
a
take a picture of
self-fulfilling
you right now
prophecy,
with that fucking
you know?
Mac. You're a liar.
He's like, do not post that.
Toss us in the trash.
Seriously though, what I can do with GarageBand is mind blowing. Even the horns in it, I used to use horn section, but then after a talk with Ramsey, Ramsey and Derek and a few other horn people, I'm like, what do I need for a horn section? They told me which instruments I need, where they should be in, what octave, and then I went and I wish I had a picture of it. There is a piece of paper next to my studio that I printed out. It is
Steve Cracks penis.
yes. It is the horns that I like to use and the range in MIDI that I am allowed to do that's a real horn note they can play. Because MIDI will let you go beyond the note. So I don't do that. So I make it real. But then after that, I have the breakdown of the chords I told you about. You know how, how the chords of a major scale. And I always look at that. I'm like, oh, crap, I'm using the normal thing. Okay, change that to a minor. You know, like I'm doing it all the time. Like I have these little notes written down, but
Yeah, it's crazy because like I would never write like that. Like I just like fucking I wake up, I got a song, I boom, I put it down.
let it rip.
Yeah.
I've found myself quite often suddenly changing something at the end of a melody to make it a harmonic minor. Like that happens a lot, you know, and just it gives you a suspense you didn't expect. You know, and I mean, honestly, I just love testing myself. I love pushing my boundaries. Oh, like one example, there's you guys know Jackie Pencato?
Yeah.
Okay, so her boyfriend, he makes like electronic music or whatever, and I was like, okay, send me something. So I'm like, I'll write something for you, and he sends me something, and I create this song out of it. Like he sent me just this long thing. I'm like, okay, this is messed up. I got to figure out what this is, and it forced me to do something I'd never done before, which is sing to the chords, not change the chords to the singing. So like what chords were there didn't work with my melodies, and I was forced to change them to fit. But the best part was like after I sent it back to him, he's like, holy shit, this is not what I expected. Like, this is a hit. You know, like it's just, I never wrote an electronic type song before, but it's like, I didn't even know what to write about. So I'm like, I'm just gonna write about dancing because people like to dance to this shit. I mean, I'll play you guys a song later, but like, it's so cool. Like, we had a New Year's Eve party at my house, and like, you know, without going into details of what we were doing, like, Jackie and Steve's her boyfriend, he's like, they made me play that song like 15 times in a row. Like it was so, they're like, this is so cool. I'm like, I just want more people to push my limits. I want to find somebody that writes country music to force me to write that. I want to write a song with Tom. I have some fucking songs that are so plain white tees.
Nice.
And I mean,
I mean,
and you know what? I'm making an assumption here, and I bet it's not even true, but I felt inferior in our group of bands. Like I never felt like I was at everybody else's level. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of my childhood, but like when I talk to people from back in the day, like talking to you was amazing, because more often than not, when I talk to people like Tom or Dan Monahan or just whoever, I just feel like they know me from before and have no idea what I can do now. Like why would anybody know? Everybody knows what I did in Swizzle Tree, and I was that dude that went up there that didn't know shit about music that just sang, you know, and like I owned it and I got good at what I was doing, but I can't imagine it was impressive to musicians as much as it was impressive to the fans. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I disagree. I mean, I think
I'm knocking myself way more than I need to, but it's just because it frustrates me that I figured all this stuff out after my big band.
Well, no. This is the best part of it. This is the best time to be living and the best time to be writing music.
True.
We were all students. You know what I mean? Like fucking, I'm embarrassed of a lot of shit that I wrote and stuff, and but that was then. I've learned a shit ton now. I'm learning a shit ton right now, right? It's all about learning as we get older and fucking finding out who the fuck you are. I too, got my ass kicked and a bunch of crazy shit as a kid, so you know, I've had this kind of like complex with stuff like that, and I'm just now fucking finding myself too. When we started this podcast, Mike's like, "Yeah, let's do a fuck podcast." I'm like, "I don't know, man. I don't know if I could do that." And now I fucking love it. I love talking to people. You know what I mean?
It's comfortable, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
You
gotta have fucking fun.
You know, and like it's nice to go into things with a little bit of anxiety because it's not nerves, it's excitement.
Exactly.
Totally.
You know, yeah. That's what I tell people. Like when I'm getting on stage and they're like, "Are you nervous?" I'm like, "No, I think everybody out there hates me, but I'm still excited." Right? You know, that's seriously how I feel. And like the show you're talking about, I was elated that by the second chorus of Back to My Dealer, everybody was singing it.
Nice.
Nobody had ever heard the song before. I'm like,
Right.
"Oh my god, this is so cool!" You know, it was mind blowing. You know,
It's well constructed, man. That's the thing.
Are you gonna do some more videos?
yeah. The second video is done. It's ready. It's on my phone. I'll show it to you guys after this podcast. And here's the thing. I've decided. All right, I'm just gonna accept that nothing's gonna happen in the order I want it to. I don't have a label. I don't have a manager, and I got no money. So right now, I just released The Mooch, which I think might be the catchiest song I've ever written.
Mooch.
It's I don't know if you guys have listened to it, but it might be better than Back to My Dealer. I don't
Wow.
know. But like, I'm not gonna make a video for it till next year. I don't care. I still want to make a video, so I'm just gonna do it later. And you know that's
Yeah.
fine. Like right now, the video we're about to release is for a song I released like 4 months ago, or 3 months ago. And the main reason I don't want to do the Mooch video right now, even though we released it, is because we were releasing a song on November 20th. As long as I can finish it by then, it's a weed Christmas song.
Perfect.
So I want to do a video for that first. You know,
Yeah,
so
that's a good idea.
So I want to do that. But then after that, I'm gonna do the video for the Mooch. I have a song called "Bag in My Pocket" that I really want to do a video for that one. And then, of course, the song I wrote with my brother's help, "It Helps Me Sleep." I gotta do one for that. It's the only song I've done that's all MIDI tracks. I made every sound on it. It's exciting.
That'd be pretty impressive, man. If you have like 5 or 6 videos for like an album, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
You know,
Have
come
one
on.
for everyone.
I wanted
That's
to. I really
ideally,
wanted
yeah,
to, but I
yeah.
can't. I can't afford it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
I mean,
dude,
why can't you just walk around with your phone?
I
Dude,
could,
I gotta
but I'm
say,
a perfectionist.
Yeah, you have set a standard with the way the film, with the way the quality
Yeah.
of the video looks.
I-
and
I-
shit. You know what I mean?
Okay, you know what? What you just explained is why I don't go and play acoustic shows by myself. I am not content with having chord progressions that I could play on a guitar and sing over. It's not good enough. I write better stuff than that. I write stuff that is too hard for me to play. If I don't have other members playing with me, I
Yeah.
cannot perform by myself. It's just not good enough. I'm sorry, but like the riffs I write, you can't articulate them with some chord progressions. You can't. It's just not the same. And I don't want to go out there with a half-ass production.
Yeah.
I as much as all this I'm doing it for myself, I also have a lot of pride in it. And like, I mean, like I've reached this point where I still don't think I'm better than anybody, but I know my own worth. I know what I can do. I know that I'm good. I've been working on this for 25 years. I think I've earned the right to say yes when people ask, "Are you good?"
Yeah. Absolutely.
Tadish said the same thing to me a while back. Like we were in Swizzle Tree, at our peak, and he's like, "Man, it's like stupid." Now when people ask me when are we good, I just say yes. Like I think we deserve to say that. I'm like, "Yes, thank you." You know, like before that, I'd be like, "I don't know," because you don't want to sound cocky.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you know, you could be confident and know you're good without having to think you're better than anybody. You know, like you don't have to be cocky. You
No.
can just know that it's okay
I mean,
to be
you have
good.
to have the confidence in order to fucking be rock and roll.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Truly, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's
I mean-
also just healthy to say like, I like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not always have to beat yourself up. Yeah.
But something else that's important with music is to not to give a fuck when somebody tells you they don't like it.
Totally.
Right.
And that's fine. That's cool. Right.
You got to remember, it's an opinion for everybody,
Yeah.
and if it's good and you like it, somebody will like it.
Yeah.
Like there's a thing called Reverb Nation. It's a website you can post your shit to, and they'll let you do like reviews of your songs. And I always do reviews to see what I'll get, and sometimes they get really high up there, and I get to like post stuff with it, whatever. But the things that crack me up is the literal opposite, like remarks. I got a song called "Enemy," and it's got like a beep 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 sound in the beginning. Excuse me. And one comment was, "Man, I love that boop boop thing. It gets me going in the beginning." The second comment was, "God, that boop boop thing makes me sick." So stupid. Another thing, Day Drinker. I told Amo, I'm like, "Listen, man, we need we need some sounds in the beginning, you know, like of like a can opening and drinking, whatever. So he made those sounds with some big whoop, whoop. 2 comments. 1, man, it totally gets me into day drinking hearing that shit in the beginning. 2nd comment, oh my God, I think I'm going to puke listening to this. I gagged listening to this. Like,
Crazy.
There's always going to be opposites, you know, and if somebody hates your music, you're doing good. If somebody cares so much about it that
Right.
they hate it, it's because it's really
To
good.
leave a fucking comment. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Either that or you're just way out of key, and that's a whole different thing. But, you know,
Opinions are like assholes.
Opinions are like assholes.
Everyone's got one.
And they all stink. Yeah.
All right. Favorite Swizzle tour moment. Think
Okay.
back. Think back.
okay, there's a few of them. I already mentioned one where we had 15,000 people in front of 311 and we had 5,000 singing it. But one of my favorite moments, I had strep throat. And we were on the road touring. I don't know why, but I sing really good when I'm sick.
I was gonna say,
Wow.
what?
I don't
maybe
get it. I don't get it. But it was we were doing a few shows, and then we were going to join LBC to play some shows in Wisconsin. I can't remember where the venue was at, but what was the venue? It was in Milwaukee. It's that big venue that has 2 stages. The big one that everybody
Grand
knows.
Eagles Ballroom, the Rave.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
the rave. There was
Yeah.
at the rave. Okay.
Yeah.
So we opened up for LBC to a bunch of people that have no idea who we are, and after we played a couple of songs, they screamed so loud I had to take a step back. It hurt my ears. I'm like,
That's awesome.
You don't even know us. Oh my God, that was mind blowing. I could not.
That was one drunk fucking night, huh?
It was awesome, dude. It was so freaking cool. I don't even know what to make of it. It was just so unexpected that this crowd of strangers was going to react like that to us. You know, that's one thing we got to be known for. That's why Swizzle Tree got so many opening shows, because maybe we couldn't draw a local crowd, maybe more than 50 to 100 people, but every big band we opened for, we were a very good opening band. Like, we got the crowd jumping and going,
Oh,
even
I
though they had
agree.
never heard of us. And that
You
was
guys are
something
very charming.
and so that worked for us, you know. And I mean, it's weird because I never felt like I was a good stage presence person, but I don't know. It's weird. You know what it was? I have good stage presence. I just hate being the comedian between songs. Just fucking tune that thing. Let's start the next song already.
Totally.
Fucking Toddish.
Seriously, dude, like nothing is worse than not having.
Get your shit together, Toddish.
Like, I mean, now I've realized that in those moments, I just turn around. I won't talk to the crowd. I'll say a couple things and I'll turn around.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that.
Let Croc do it.
Yeah. Or even with this band, I'll say a few things and I'll just sit there and wait. You know, I mean, why do they even care what I have to say? I mean, have you ever understood the dude that's yelling between songs? I can't understand them.
Right.
I don't know what
Yeah,
my brother's
usually
saying between
can't hear-
songs.
yeah.
I don't know what Crier's saying. I mean, I'm saying LBC every time because that's the only band I go see anymore. But seriously, like, I realized at a certain point that say things with a small amount of words, loudly and clearly, or all they're going to hear is like, cheers, yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what you're saying on stage. You know, you speak clearly or just shut up.
Right. Where can we find all this Temple of Dome? Is it all on Spotify?
Everything's
only?
up there. Yeah, no, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. YouTube.
Yeah,
you got it up?
I went through CD Baby to release it, and I picked the choice that says everywhere, even free.
Hell yeah.
So anywhere you can find music that is streaming, my music is there.
Okay. Is there any there is an Instagram? So what's the tag for it?
I'm guessing at Temple of Dome. Again, like I said, I'm not a social media guy, but yes,
mind.
I think it's at Temple of Dome. There's a Facebook thing. It's probably at Temple of Dome. But the main thing is the YouTube page. Just go there and watch the videos.
Totally.
And also they released the songs on YouTube with just like the video is your album cover. You know what I really love about my songs lately is I apparently have been picking album or song titles that have never been picked before.
Awesome.
So like if you ask for Ode to Lauren Joy or
That's
I'm Riding a Dinosaur or Back to My Dealer or 10 Joint Challenge, you don't have to ask for the band name. Just ask for that song and
That's
it'll
cool.
play. Another one from way back in the day is, and you guys will love this title because it relates to everything Swizzle Tree. The song was "You'll Never Hear This Song on the Radio," and like it's probably one of my best songs for radio. Like it's funny. It's just like a pop punk like fun song, you know. It's
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah, but like that song again, nobody's ever written a song called "You'll Never Hear the Song on the Radio." So like
Awesome, yeah.
that's exciting.
Dude, Ode to Lauren Joy is very clever. Very clever.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, okay, that's another example of a song I was only able to write because she made it clear to me that I wasn't insulting and I was just speaking my mind. That song is literally about a time when we were on vacation and she's laying out in the sun looking insanely hot. Everybody's staring at her. All the guys are staring at her. And the whole song is just about how much I love staring at. I mean, the hook in the song is, I'll be staring at you all the time. And that, I mean, I have never been able to write a love song that wasn't a heartbreak song until I was with her.
Nice.
Every song I've ever written about girls is like, I don't want you to leave, or please don't believe we'll never be apart. Like, it's all like heartbreak shit. Then I'm with her and I'm like, this is really easy to write. How much I like you. Like, it's just the other song. I have 2 songs on our last album that are about her. I Got You and Ode to Lauren Joy. And then I sing about her in Day Drinker. I have another song coming out called 420 Lady that's going to be about her.
420.
Like, I mean, I've realized that my best music is just writing about what I feel. Right. And I have so much feeling towards her. I mean, I don't know. It's awesome. I can't imagine being here with anybody I've ever dated before. Like, I'm so lucky this is where I landed. We talk about that all the time. Not only did I land with somebody I like love and we love spending time with it, I'm insanely attracted to, but somebody who helped me break past my block and just write what I want to write.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Is the album finished?
No. It's not even finished writing. I mean, okay, let's see. Okay, so since Amelia I released years ago, so we got Back to My Dealer, A Good Day, and 10 Joint Challenge that were released. Then I did Mary Jane. I just released The Mooch. The next one is a cover of Hits from the Bong by Cypress Hill, but it's heavy metal punk rock. Then after that is going to be All I Want Under the Christmas Tree. And then after that, I've got a handful of songs. They're not all finished yet. There's Bag in My Pocket, It Helps Me Sleep. Crap, what are these all called? Oh, yeah. Panic on the Couch. And I'm totally going to put an exclamation point after the panic. What else? Man, I can't remember all the names of these songs.
Are you aiming for like 10, 12?
13.
Nice.
I want to do 12, and then there's the 13th one from before. However, since I missed a month, my goal was to release them from 420 of 2023 to 420 2024.
Yeah.
And 420 2024 is a Saturday, so I want to do a big show. I'm working with Ramsey right now. He just showed me a place that allows weed smoking in a festival. I'm like, we need to do that.
Cool.
And, Ramsey's connected, so hopefully he can pull it off. I hope he's listening right now because I just put him on the spot. But yeah, that's the goal. So I think I need to double up in a month. Let me just look at my phone here real quick. Let's see what we got.
What was that show that LBC just played that was like a big green fest?
Oh, yeah. It was,
I tried to get on that, but
it looked awesome. What the hell was that called? Come on now.
Well, shit.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw
you know what?
all the advertisements. It was
Hold
really
on,
good.
hold on. I know the answer to this because my brother just texted me about it.
What'd you say?
Let's see. Come on, brother. Where's your text?
What the hell was that called?
He just told me he's trying to get me on it for 2024. I'm like, that would be great, dude, but why would they pick me?
There you go again.
Wait.
Cultivate 25. We don't have a band playing live yet.
Yeah.
Even like LBC has a show coming up. He's like, you guys want to play? I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, and the reasoning that we're not playing is like, we haven't earned it. The only reason they would be putting us on is because I'm his brother, and that's just not fair. Like, there's bands that are playing out there, bringing out people, they need to play with them, So I want to earn that by playing live, but, I finally just have some band members that we're going to start practicing to play live again, and we'll just see where I go. Oh, yeah, I was looking that shit up. But, Cultivate Fest is what it's called.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And the reason that they would want you is because you've written an entire concept album about smoking, and
exactly.
It's awesome.
Okay, so the songs I could not remember the names of.
Followed up with, fucking incredible.
Bag in My Pocket, Hits from the Bong, Helps Me Sleep, Mary Jane. Oh yeah, Nerfer Ner Ner Ner. That's another song. All right. It sounds kind of like the Doobie Brothers. The Mooch. Oh, the Smoking 20s. Oh yeah, that's this decade.
Damn.
You know how you got the Roaring 20s?
Yeah.
Everyone's free to get
That's
high
funny.
in the smoking 20s.
I think you got something here.
So,
Kid, I think you
if
got
I could turn
something.
this into a musical, it'd be awesome. I can't wait.
I think you should, and I don't think it necessarily has to. You said about dialogue in between songs having to be sung. I don't think that's necessarily the case. you'll have all the characters. I mean,
Yeah.
the dealer's a character. Like I mean, it's hilarious characters for
they
sure.
just have to break into song every now and again.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think that would be an idea that would work, man.
Every now and
Every one of these songs has a video in my head. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's the thing. Once you make like 6-8 videos, and you think about how do I put them all together, something might click for you. Who knows? You know.
going back to why I said just keep making the shit.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly. I mean, it's funny though. Like there are so many things I've done and not like finished and released because I have to do this first. You know, like I have like the song I told you about, "Cool Like You." It's about just trying to fit the image of a rock star and being like, this is stupid. You know, I'm just gonna be me. Or I got one called "Breaking Physics," and it's about black holes.
Nice.
And I actually did that one with the Swizzle Tree guys, but we haven't released it yet. I've got okay. My next concept album after the Dank album is going to be offbeats, ska and reggae.
Cool.
All ska and reggae. You know, and like
Yeah.
I got a guy for you over here.
so I'll play.
For
you
real, you guys got.
I've got a few rough stuff things for you guys. I'll play you after that too. But it's like, you know, this one song I wrote. I had this goal. Is something Jiggles told me. He's like let's do some Motown type stuff. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, they would pick a thing, a melody, a rhythm, a beat, whatever, and the whole song was the same thing, and they would find dynamics in it, moving up and down as you go. Oh, excuse me. A band that does this all the time is Imagine Dragons. They'll pick one little thing, and that thing never stops throughout the whole song, but everything else around it goes up and down and changes.
Right.
Another band that I saw this in and I was like, oh, this is so cool. It was Joe Jonas's side band, Dnce. I know it's
if I heard it, yeah.
DNCE.
Oh, yeah.
And
I thought it was pronounced dunce.
yeah, I said yeah, like I said, Dnce.
Dnce.
But their two biggest hits. One was "Cake by the Ocean." The other one was "Kissing Strangers." Both of those songs, it's the same riff through the whole thing.
Sure.
But it's so dynamic, up and down and everything. I'm like, I gotta do that. So I got this song called "The End," and you know, it's the same chord progression all the way through. It's all reggae, but every bass line changes, everything changes, and it's like a verse, a chorus, and a bridge, but it's all the same chord progression. I've never done that before. It's so cool.
Is it
awesome,
the end of
yeah.
a joint?
No, it's the end of a friendship.
Yeah. Oh.
It's can we still be friends? Best friends till the end. Or maybe this is the end.
Ooh.
So, you know, so it's about the world of politics right now and how friends who don't agree on politics suddenly don't agree on being friends. What the
Yeah.
fuck is that? Give me a break.
Yeah.
You know, so like that's what the song's about.
Wow.
I'm excited. I'm really excited about the reggae album, but I got to finish this Dank album first.
Damn right, dude.
Fuck yeah. Well, I'm excited to see these videos. So, we're at about 1:33, and it's fucking glorious. Every fucking minute of this has been fantastic.
Hell yeah.
So we can find everything at Temple of Dome. Basically, there's no templeofdome.com, right? It's just basically all social.
No,
right
yeah,
now.
it's all social media stuff. And keep in mind, there was a very big movie once released called Temple of Doom. If you ask Siri or Alexa, she will go to that first. DOME, okay? Temple of Dome. We're all bald.
And on that, thank you.
Thank you.
Great
Yeah,
to see you.
Yeah.
Has life been feeling like a pile of poo, making you wanna quit? I've got something that you ought to do. Smoke a fat joint while you're taking a shit.